And this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. I want to talk about a few things here. I'm revving up the car because it is freezing here in Florida. And I just turned the heat on in the car and I needed to warm up. I've got the seat heater on and the steering wheel heater on, and we're good to go. The main topic today on the morning show is going to be Trump just wiping out violent crime in Chicago. And it's a story barely even being reported. It's absurd that there's so little reporting on what he's doing. And the title of this video is "Everything Trump Does is Good," right? Everything Trump does is good. That is true. Everything Trump is doing is good for the American people in this country. And for the life of me, I have less than zero understanding as to why anyone would be opposing anything that he is doing. And, you know, he's rid D.C. of almost all crime. He's cleaned up crime in Memphis, Tennessee. And he's had, without even sitting in the National Guard, with a minimal federal presence, he's just had a devastating impact from the gangbangers and criminals, just totally cracking down on crime in Chicago in a short period of time. Those of you that are not MAGA, those of you that don't support President Trump, what is one thing that you could point to that he's doing in this second term that's not good for Americans? Right? Everything he is doing is good for, now I don't mean South Americans, North Americans, Latin Americans, I mean United States of Americans. Everything he is doing is so good, so positive. And these are things, I was talking about this yesterday. He's doing things that are universally good, meaning how can you disagree with the things that he is doing? Gave the largest and maybe even the first tax cut to some of the hardest working low-income people that are tip workers and overtime workers. Amazing. Major tax breaks to those who are retired on Social Security. Just amazing, truly amazing things that he's got going on here. He has had such an impact on the criminals. I mean, look at the criminal invaders. From the MS-13s, the Trinidad gang, the border. He's closed that down, the southern border. He has stopped trafficking of drugs and humans into the United States down to almost zero. And it continues. Why would anyone be opposed to this? It makes no sense. And with past presidents, okay, there's been things to debate. Oh, well, with Bush, should we support the Farm Bill? Should we go to war in Iraq? There were things with past presidents that were debatable, right? There's nothing that Trump is doing in this second term that is debatable. They're all universally good and positive for the American people. And it blows my mind. I think, a lot of people out there are really working hard. I'm going to start today with, by the way, those of you that are Patreon supporters, I put a video up on Patreon. I did a live stream yesterday afternoon before my podcast for Patreon supporters that is up there. So if you're a Patreon, and I talked about something I'm not going to talk about here, you won't want to miss it. So if you're a Patreon supporter, make sure you go and watch that video. I am going to delete it later this morning. So go and check it out. I revealed something that I found out about someone and something. So make sure you go and check it out. Patreon support. If you want to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description. People are ungrateful. Well, I'm going to start today with the Chicago story because it's barely being reported about what he's done with crime. But then there's another story that was from a Substack. I can't remember the name of the writer offhand, but I do have the article on my ex was writing about Nick Fuentes and the Gropers. And I believe, knowingly or not, maybe he doesn't know this, but I believe Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are part of a deep state psyop operation to disrupt and discredit the MAGA movement. And I'm going to go through this article. You know, a lot of these troll callers I get are Fuentes gropers. You know, it used to be when Howard Stern was relevant, you'd get the there was the Baba Booies. Baba Booies never bothered me, but the Baba Booies would call shows and get on television and everything else. Nick Fuentes with his gropers, or whatever that is, I don't know what they, groipers, I don't know what they call those guys. They're the new Baba Booies, right? And the question is, what kind of impact are they having? You know, my podcast last night, I was talking about this a little bit. I'm going to talk about that more today because we have the greatest conservative, and the deep state are working very hard to tear it down. Also, there was an article about one of the senior women that Mamdani hired. There's an article in the New York Post today that I'm going to go over on the show. Another, just a democratic socialist, but she went to the London School of Economics, and I've often suspected that anyone who goes to the London School of Economics who's an American is deep state. So, you know, is Mamdani a deep state op? Perhaps, or maybe they've made a move to infiltrate it, take it over. I don't know, but I'm going to go through that as well on the program. I mean, you know, this man of the people from Uganda. How does he have someone from the London School of Economics in a senior position on his staff? Let me put my seatbelt on, guys. Put the phone down. It's 53 degrees here in Florida, where I'm at right now, which is warmer than yesterday. It was 49, but this is really cold for us here in Florida. That's why I have the heat on in the car, and the seat heater on, and the steering wheel heater on. I'm glad I got the steering wheel heater in this car. Oh man, it comes in handy. I came out here to warm up. Oh. Let me turn it on high for a minute. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I need some heat. Heat up the car. It is freezing. Okay. There we go. That's Florida. That's right. Florida, the greatest state in the union. This is the best state to live in. No doubt about that. So there's a lot of things going on, but the lawfare people, they haven't given up on Trump. They're just trying to stop Trump and the MAGA movement in different ways, right? Well, we actually have a hillbilly in our movement, the Vice President of the United States, right? A self-described hillbilly. I don't know why you think you're better than J.D. Vance, Joe Extra, whatever the heck that name is. But they're trying to take down the MAGA movement and President Trump just in a new way than they have tried before. And there's major psyops going on, and a lot of these new media people, knowingly or unknowingly, are a part of it. You know, and there's another thing too. Oh yeah, I support JD. I'm from Ohio originally. We have 10 presidents from Ohio. He'll be the 11th, right? That's right. JD Vance will be the 11th president from the great state of Ohio. Mm-hmm. Whatever, you know, but you know, you look at what they're doing, and there's so much fake MAGA out there, you know, so much fake MAGA, and these new media influencers. You know, I was talking about the big six yesterday. Was Tucker, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, these six are doing so much damage to the MAGA movement. Some of it's intentional, some of it's not. I will say, Candace Owens, or not, I'm sorry, Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly seems uncomfortable to me, involved in whatever the hell's going on with these people. The forces of darkness that used to use the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the networks, the network news to get their propaganda out. That's not where they move now. They move to a lot of the big influencers, right? That's where they're getting their propaganda and their messaging and misinformation through, and getting narratives going. And they're using these, all former Never Trumpers very openly. Maybe they always were Never Trumpers, but using these people that I'm talking about to get their propaganda out. Some of them are aware of it, and some of them are not. And it's important for us to be aware of it. What I've always done in my over 30 years of doing this is, and Hannity talked about this a lot too. I don't know if he still does, but what talk radio, conservative talk radio was about after the rise of Rush Limbaugh, was about combating liberal media bias. And now we have, it's not the liberal bias, it's these fake MAGA, fake conservative influencers that have replaced the nightly news anchors, right? Replaced the Walter Cronkite with the influence. And it's crazy, but that's what's going on. So these evil forces of manipulation are using their powers against these people, using these people to get these false narratives out there. That's it. Tariffs are a good thing. Mind over matter, a very good thing, very powerful tool for our great country and our leader to use. But I think it's painfully obvious. I mean, do you guys agree about this with some of these household name influencers? That they're the ones that the evildoers behind the scenes are using to manipulate, to get narratives going? I think so. Now, I'm in my car, in my driveway. I'm going out to get coffee before the show this morning, and I wanted to get the car heated up. Now, that doesn't mean they're all aware of it, okay? But I think Megyn Kelly just seems very uncomfortable this week. She's Ben Shapiro when she interviewed Ben Shapiro, he had said that Candace Owens said that Erica Kirk was part of the plot against Charles. And then Megyn Kelly did a response. She said she didn't know about that. She did a response that Candace didn't say that. And now there's people saying, well, that Candace implied. We have this great conservative coalition, and so many of these household name influencers are working against it. I don't know how you can respect both Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, while I do agree with Ben Shapiro when it comes to Israel, the problem with Ben Shapiro is that he's a very unlikable guy. His popularity is artificial. His popularity occurred by the Daily Wire spending millions and millions of dollars in all kinds of ads, pushing his program on everybody. And that was the model of Daily Wire. I mean, that's how they made Brett Cooper and others well known. They're not having success now because they don't have the money for the advertisement that they used to. So, these new people that they have, they can't do what they did for Ben or Brett Cooper. But Ben Shapiro is not a likable personality. and that that works against him. The Israeli lobby picked two very bad people to be their front men, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin, because neither of them are likable. And since both of them are so unlikable, it's easy for these forces of division to stir up disagreement when it comes to their and the U.S. support for Israel. Candace Owens is just insane. She's hell-bent on bringing down Turning Point, you know, and she's not going to stop until she does. That's her whole mission now. I don't know how aware she is, because she's crazy, but she's got to have moments of sanity, right? Welcome, everyone. Yes, if you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. On my next stream, I'll be live in the studio taking live calls. Oh, man. This cold winter weather in Florida, just 52 degrees. That's just too freaking cold. Mm-hmm. But that's, you know, this is a problem, you know. See, the thing is, we know about, everybody accepts the bias of the mainstream media, right? The cable news and such. So people have left that and gone elsewhere, and the places they've gone have now been corrupted, and it's happened pretty quick. I mean, do you really think that these evil forces and the deep state are going to let any mass media type operation be uncorrupted by them? Of course not. They've been doing this since the days of the telegram. You know, during the Second World War, the deep state of the Second World War, before we had modern technology, anything like we have now, they monitored every telegram that was sent in this country. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Right? The media is heavily biased. Yeah, but isn't the media has been corrupted. I don't know why people, this is another thing I'm going to talk about today. Why are people freaking out over 50-year mortgages? First of all, when it comes to money and real estate and financing, Donald Trump's a top expert on such things. That's number one. Number two, a 50-year mortgage, it doesn't mean that mortgages are going to be 50 years. If it were to happen, it would mean that it's an option. It's like when you buy a car now, it used to be that you had two options, 3 and 5 year loans on cars. Then they expanded it to 6, and now you can get 7-year loans on cars when you buy them. It's crazy, right? You pay more in interest, but you got a lower payment. So who cares if somebody chooses the option of a 10-year, a 5-year, a 20-year, a 30-year, or a 50-year mortgage? Right? I don't see why people are making a big deal about it, other than Trump said it, so they feel that they've got to be against anything Trump has. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, you know, so what? 50-year mortgage. Most people don't stay in their house all that many years. They you know, I'm in my second house. Okay, my wife and I, we've lived in this house over 20 years. This house we've been in 21 years. It'll be 22 this year, next year. We had a condo before that. We sold the condo. We more than doubled our money and bought this house. And I remember when we bought this house, we figured we'd live here 5 years and sell and move on, but we stayed, and you know, and I may die in this house, or I may move into a retirement community one day. I don't know. But most people stay in a house about 5 years, 10 years, and then they sell the house and upgrade. So who cares if they have a 5, 10, 20, 30, or a 50-year mortgage? You know, people make a big deal about this 50-year mortgage thing that Trump said. Why do you care? Somebody said it's a bad idea. Maybe for you, but maybe not for somebody else. Maybe it's the difference between someone being able to afford a mortgage payment and not. Right? I don't know. That's just Trump derangement syndrome. Who cares? Who cares if somebody gets a, 7-year car loan, 50-year mortgage? Who cares? If somebody wants that option, let them do it. So what? Who cares? It's America. Have some freedom, and it's up to the banks. The banks wouldn't be required to give a loan like that. They could decide if they wanted to or not. Car loans outlive most cars. It depends on how much you drive. I mean, I've had this car a year and a half. And how many miles do I have on it? I don't know. Let's see. I've had this car a year and a half. I've got 15,000 miles on it. Too many homeless people? Well, in Florida during the winter, the homeless are like the birds. They come south for the winter. Cars last a long time. Like this is my new car, but my other car is a 2011, and it has over 150,000 miles on it. It runs great. It runs great. The heat's better in this one because I don't have the heated steering wheel. I do have a heated seat in that one. And the gas mileage is better in this one. But this is my new car. But I remember when I was younger, if a car hit 100,000 miles, you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. But cars run a long time now, so I don't think there's any problem with a 6-7 year loan if you choose that. Depends on what you buy. I wouldn't do it on a used car. Heated seat in Florida, absolutely. 52 degrees, man, that's cold in Florida. But cars last longer. And so far as the 50-year mortgage, people are living longer, too, right? When FDR brought in the 30-year mortgage, what was the life expectancy then compared to now, right? Now, people cares. People are just, people think they're economists. When it comes to money and financing, when it involves real estate, how could you argue that Trump does not know what he's talking about? That's like his major area of expertise. To say that Trump doesn't know what he's talked about when it comes to real estate and financing of real estate is crazy talk. Right? Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. On my next stream, I'll be taking live calls in the studio, and you can call me whether you disagree or agree on all these things. Subarus can get up to 300,000. Yeah, I imagine my 2011, I don't drive it too much, so I imagine it'll last me, I don't know how many more years. Yeah, they call Elon Musk dumb, the richest man who's ever lived. Yeah, exactly. That tells you everything you need to know. Yep, so I want to announce this during the morning show, too. If you're a Patreon supporter, I did a live stream yesterday. You won't want to miss that video if you didn't see it. And I am going to delete it later this morning. So make sure you go and check it out, okay? Because I talked about something I'm not going to talk about here. And I think you'll find it I know you'll find it very interesting. But I am going to delete that video. It's a the Patreon live stream from yesterday. So if you want to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description. Yeah, the heat is feeling great, I'll tell you what. Oh, man. Absolutely. But, this work that Trump is doing in the blue cities, he's rid D.C. of crime, blue city, rid Memphis of crime, blue city. crime is down significantly because of Trump in Chicago, and that's without sending in the National Guard or even a large federal presence. It's absolutely amazing. We do have nice weather, but we're spoiled with our nice warm weather, and when it gets below 65, we don't like it in Florida. That's it. And in South Florida, 53 is freezing. It was 49 yesterday. But listen, haters are going to hate. The Trump derangement syndrome is deep in the bones of these people. Just like the trolls in the chat, right? All right. Let me put the window down when I back out. I don't trust just the backup camera. Yeah, yesterday was Veterans Day, and I did not realize how many people were off work yesterday. When I got off the air, I went outside, because I'm at my home studio. I'll be at the radio station later this week, but I'll be at my home studio today. But I go outside and I was shocked. The guy next door is putting up Christmas decorations with his kid. Everybody's pretty much home. I didn't realize how many people had off on Veterans Day. It's really amazing how many people are off on Veterans Day. I don't take too many holidays off. I mean, I'll have some days off as we're getting into Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff. I got a couple days I got to take off in December for some things. I got invited to really cool Christmas party and it's during the week, so I'm going to take off the day after. I'm far from my house, and it's a nighttime event with food and adult beverages, so I'll take a day off after that. I don't go to too many Christmas parties because Christmas parties tend to be during the week. But this one in particular is going to be a good one and a very nice, fancy place. So I want to go for sure. Think about it after, probably. Now make sure you guys subscribe. This is Mode 7. So what I'm going to lead with today is the Chicago story, because that's pretty big. That's a massive story, the crime in Chicago. I'm going to talk about this deep state operative Mamdani's bringing in. Talk about this disinformation campaign that's going on with against the MAGA movement. It's an extension of what I was talking about on my podcast last night. There's some new things that have developed in that story, so we got to cover that. There's a major move against our great movement, and it's got to be talked about. And I'll have a new podcast this afternoon too, guys, so don't miss that. I take calls on the podcast too, most of the time. I don't know why Starbucks is not open 24 hours. It makes no freaking sense to me. I think they'd be very busy at night. If the Dunkin' Donuts coffee was as good and as strong, I'd be going there, but it just doesn't taste good. They're open 24 hours. there's a homeless guy, a new homeless guy that's been camping out in front of the Starbucks. Starbucks lets homeless people use their facilities, so homeless people around the country go to Starbucks. And this guy, he likes to be right there in front of the door. It's really inconvenient. Oh, he's not here today. Maybe it's too cold and he's gone somewhere else. I don't mind disagreement, right? Whatever your politics are, but no spamming, if you don't mind, all right? Now, if you are new, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you on the next stream, and I'll be taking live calls. And again, remember, if you're a Patreon supporter, go check out that live stream I put up there yesterday, because I am going to delete it a little later this morning. All right, guys? Take care.